He's a Me Too victim there. That's absurd.
Everyone knows blondes are nicer anyway.
Blake Lively is spiraling, and now fellow celebrities are coming forward to expose the brutal truth about her past.
Blake Lively is not a good person, that she has proven herself not to be a kind person.
From explosive on-set drama to accusations that could shatter her golden image, the flawless facade Blake worked so hard to build is cracking fast.
Lively Justin Baldoni cases likely won't settle before trial, and this is according to Justin's lawyer.
And to be blunt, she's not ready for the storm that's coming.
All hell broke loose. She claims he sexual harassed her, and then by the time they premiered the movie, they weren't even speaking to each other. She made him stay in the basement, and Ryan Reynolds turned on him too. And then she claimed that he unleashed a bad PR campaign against her.
For years, Blake Lively has been Hollywood's golden girl. From her breakout role in Gossip Girl to ruling the red carpet with ease, she perfected the art of charm, elegance, and effortless cool.
He's a Me Too victim there. That's absurd. She seems like kind of a jerk. Wow, she's like kind of a bully. She's rather mean. This guy who had, comparatively very little power was forced now to come out and tell the truth about Blake Lively.
Hollywood power couple Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds and actor and director Justin Baldoni. The plot of this lawsuit is actually more interesting, I believe, than the film that they made.
In an industry built on image, Blake stood out. She wasn't just admired, she was worshipped. A fashion icon, a relatable celebrity, a creative visionary. Fans hailed her as kind, grounded, and trailblazing.
But now,
Blake Lively is not a good person, that she has proven herself not to be a kind person, okay? And that's largely due to the fact that she is a modern feminist, and so she has to create struggle where there just isn't any.
A wave of allegations is painting a much darker picture, one that completely shatters the carefully curated persona she's clung to for years.
What Blake Lively loves to do is tell on herself. So in a newly resurfaced interview from 2009 in Glamour magazine, Blake Lively opened up about how she tried to poison the cast of Gossip Girl against Penn Badgley.
Stories have surfaced accusing Blake of manipulative behavior on set, particularly during her Gossip Girl days.
Whispers from her Gossip Girl days have resurfaced, claims that she was far from the sweetheart she played on screen. Former insiders say she was controlling, dismissive, and created tension behind the scenes.
She got a few of them.
come on, it was a joke. Lord have mercy.
That was a lot of information about cages, and I'm sorry, I was still thrown off by that stuff.
And it doesn't stop at TV sets. Outside of acting, Blake has dipped her toes into the lifestyle and business world. But now, several small creators are accusing her of stealing their ideas and passing them off as her own, with zero credit.
It makes more sense when you're watching a show that there's not an obvious choice between good and evil. So she would seem like the obvious choice, but she's also got, flaws as well. But I think I'm just brunette because of the books.
Everyone knows blondes are nicer anyway.
The public is divided, and fans are stunned. The perfect image is falling apart, and people are starting to question whether it was ever real to begin with.
She has a track record of being difficult to work with, from Armie Hammer, who got fired from Gossip Girl because he said during a dinner that she was a bitch.
Candace Owens dropped a bombshell from her days as an intern at Glamour. According to her, an editor flat out called Blake Lively the rudest person they had ever worked with. That one story alone calls into question everything Blake has led the world to believe.
I mean, it makes me feel incredibly fancy, and it also makes me feel very sad that this is not mine to keep, so put in a good word for me.
One of the most shocking accusations now surfacing involves claims of creative theft. Several small designers and independent artists have come forward, alleging that Blake contacted them under fake names to inquire about their work. After gathering the information she needed, they say she vanished, only for their unique ideas or designs to later appear in her wardrobe, red carpet looks, or personal projects without any credit or compensation.
That was a lot of information about cages, and I'm sorry, I was still thrown off by that.
He was like, wow.
Who else didn't want to act in a cage?
These allegations have ignited a wave of backlash, especially from within the creative community. Many artists and small business owners have voiced frustration, arguing that someone with Blake's influence should be using her platform to elevate emerging talent, not exploit it for her own gain.
And sometimes I had directors or producers or writers who would welcome that and invite that once they saw that I was able to offer that. And sometimes I would have people who really resented that because they were like, we just hired you to be an.
This growing outrage is beginning to chip away at her public image. Once celebrated as a symbol of empowerment and originality, Blake is now being accused of putting her brand above ethics, prioritizing aesthetics and fame over fairness and respect.
There's an article recently saying that Leighton and I were frenemies. And it's
frenemies. Is that the new term, frenemies?
Yeah, we're friends, but we're also enemies. And it's they see our characters on the show, and they want that to be true in a sense. I think they want everybody's characters in real life to emulate that. And it's really strange because they always want to pit women against each other. You don't hear about like Penn and Chase hating each other and being jealous and competitive.
Perhaps most damaging is how these stories contradict the wholesome persona Blake has spent years perfecting. For someone hailed as a role model for young women, these revelations are jarring. The gap between her public image and these behind-the-scenes allegations has many questioning whether her Golden Girl reputation is authentic, or just another Hollywood illusion.
The quote there really shows that she's the center of attention. She takes this opportunity that he has to train himself and prepare for a scene as somehow relating to her weight.
This unraveling matters not just because it affects Blake personally, but because it reveals a deeper issue within the entertainment industry: the exploitation of lesser-known creatives by those in power. In an era where accountability matters more than ever, Blake's alleged actions are a stark reminder that even in industries built on creativity, inequity and exploitation can still thrive behind closed doors.
I want all the roles for me and only me. I want full control because I am a controlling bully.
As more voices come forward, it's becoming clear that the cracks in Blake Lively's carefully curated persona aren't just rumors. They're deep fault lines threatening to unravel years of carefully built goodwill. While many fans still cling to the image of Blake as America's sweetheart, these new revelations suggest her past is far from flawless.
I met Blake a few times through Ryan on that film.
Got it.
And thought she seemed nice, and little did I know.
Yeah. We got the body language experts analyzing this right now. How quickly do you...
Don't touch me.
This is just the beginning of what's turning into a full-blown public reckoning. The consequences for Blake's career and legacy remain uncertain. Will she confront the allegations and take accountability? Or will she continue to protect the image she's spent years perfecting? One thing's for sure, her squeaky clean reputation may be on borrowed time.
Well, I mean, I think that our show takes place in a heightened reality a little bit. I think that a lot of the realism is lost in the sparkle, and it's meant to. You need that. You need that for the entertainment and the grit.
Let's talk about Penn Badgley, Blake's co-star and former real-life boyfriend. Known for being private, introspective, and decidedly anti-Hollywood, Penn has never aired out dirty laundry. But some of his past interviews have included subtle hints, just enough to raise eyebrows.
I think it will always be negative in the end, but it starts out as a lot of times an innocent thing. People love to talk about other people. It's just natural. That's why they love to watch television.
He's made cryptic remarks about the challenges of working with strong personalities on set. And while he never names names, fans have connected the dots. When Penn talks about navigating turbulent waters, let's just say he probably isn't talking about the East River.
I met Blake. I worked with her husband Ryan several years ago, so I met Blake a few times through Ryan on that film.
Got it.
And thought she seemed nice, and little did I know.
Then there's the long-rumored rivalry between Blake Lively and Leighton Meester, who played the iconic Blair Waldorf. On screen, their love-hate chemistry gave Gossip Girl its spark. But behind the scenes, it seems the tension wasn't entirely scripted.
We got the body language experts analyzing this right now. How quickly, T?
Don't touch me.
While Layden was reportedly all about the craft, showing up, hitting her marks, and keeping things professional, Blake was allegedly more focused on using the show as a launch pad for her Hollywood career. This supposed difference in priorities created an unmistakable rift. Some crew members have quietly mentioned icy stares and passive-aggressive digs that would make even Blair raise an eyebrow.
On a set, I knew that they just wanted me to show up and look cute and stand on a little pink sticker where I'm supposed to go and say what I'm supposed to say, but I also knew that that wasn't fulfilling for me, that I wanted to be a part of the storytelling, that I wanted to be a part of the narrative, whether that be in the writing, in the costume design, in creating the character.
And let's not ignore the reports of Blake asserting behind-the-scenes dominance. Insiders claim she had a knack for steering things her way, pushing for more flattering lighting, tweaking wardrobe selections, and subtly influencing storylines to keep her character in the spotlight. Ambitious? Maybe. But to some, it felt like she brought Serena van der Woodson's queen bee energy to set and dialed it up to 11.
She asked him herself to play Ryle in the movie, and things were great. Until Blake Lively.
Enter Justin Baldoni, Blake's co-star and the film's director. On paper, the pairing sounded perfect. Blake's star power and charisma combined with Justin's talent for emotional storytelling. But according to insiders, the reality was far from harmonious. Instead of being a dream team, their working relationship quickly turned into a subtle power struggle.
And that what in fact happened was Justin didn't harass Blake. Blake was interested in wresting control of this movie away from Justin, who was the director and the producer. She was just an actress in it. And used threats and coercion and bullying to do it.
Blake's involvement in the film went far beyond just delivering her lines. She reportedly had strong opinions on everything, from the script and direction to the dynamics between other characters. While a collaborative spirit can be a strength, insiders say Blake's influence often crossed the line into overstepping. And when it came to control, some suggest that while Blake was stirring the pot, Ryan Reynolds, always calculated, may have been quietly manipulating things behind the scenes too.
Blake Lively has proven, Ryan Reynolds has proven to be actually the smartest in the room and was likely manipulating her. And it is likely, this is my guess.
One source claimed that Blake's constant demands led to several last-minute script rewrites, changes that didn't sit well with the rest of the cast. Imagine preparing for a pivotal scene, only to have it completely overhauled because one person decided it could be better. Even the most professional actors would find that exhausting.
I mean, it's wild, you know. I mean, not only Blake Lively. I mean, you're phenomenal, but also to be a young Lily.
I feel like that is a disservice too, because she's in the movie. She's not doing me. She's bringing herself.
And it wasn't just the cast feeling the strain. Crew members reportedly found themselves walking on eggshells. From lighting tweaks to sudden wardrobe changes, Blake's perfectionism slowed production more than once. One crew member even described the set as a stress minefield, with everyone trying not to trigger another wave of last-minute requests.
I'm just there to be the actor and ready to get the gig. I wouldn't reveal that I actually need to have authorship in order to feel fulfilled. So I think that for them, sometimes that might have felt like a rug pull because you're like, you're trying to assert yourself into something that we didn't have.
Of course, Blake's defenders argue she's simply passionate about her craft and invested in making the film the best it can be, and maybe that's true. But when whispers about controlling behavior and behind-the-scenes chaos begin surfacing from multiple sources, it's hard not to wonder if there's more to the story than just dedication.
This is about that narrative that I think they instantly started spinning. I believe that they are going to be able to prove in court that this was personal.
The tension between Blake and co-star Justin Baldoni reportedly reached a breaking point during the filming of one particularly intense scene. According to insiders, Blake pushed for creative changes that Justin believed compromised the integrity of the story. Details remain murky, but one thing is certain: The set of It Ends With Us was far from the peaceful, collaborative environment it was meant to be.
At that point in the film, she had already began to exert control over so many aspects of production, not just rewriting the script, but she had also taken over wardrobe, causing the wardrobe budget to go over by hundreds of thousands of dollars.
What's especially ironic about all of this is that It Ends With Us is a story centered on resilience and overcoming adversity. Yet if the behind-the-scenes rumors are true, the production itself became a crash course in navigating conflict and power struggles. Blake may have been the star on paper, but her off-camera behavior reportedly left many wondering if her bright light sometimes casts too long a shadow.
Clothes or my husband's clothes or my girlfriend Gigi's clothes. I was borrowing some.
Wait, that's kind of amazing. So you have something of Gigi's in the movie?
Yeah, like a wedding, like something old, something borrowed, something blues. I'm wearing her stuff all over it.
Oh, really?
Tons of like Bodhi, which is with the suit now that I'm wearing is Bodhi. It was meant for my husband, but I borrowed it.
His suit?
It was meant for him to wear.
From Gossip Girl to It Ends With Us, Blake Lively's career seems to mirror the kind of drama she brings to the screen. Her talent and charisma are undeniable. But these ongoing stories raise a bigger question. What's the real cost of maintaining that flawless golden girl persona? As the old saying goes, heavy is the head that wears the crown, or in this case, the tiara.
Well, they're best and worst friends, I guess. They're two women that come together and they're sort of unlikely friends. And then they are each other's, the worst thing that ever happened to each other, and then in some moments a really great thing happened to each other. I wouldn't say the best necessarily.
And speaking of tension, remember the electric chemistry between Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick in A Simple Favor? Mysterious, sharp, and filled with simmering tension. But off-screen, that simmering tension might not have been acting. During the film's press tour, whispers of behind-the-scenes friction between the two stars began circulating. And honestly, the off-screen drama might have been juicier than anything in Emily Nelson's Martini Glass.
I feel like it's pretty rapid cognition for me.
Yeah, I think you know, but there's some people, like, I've had people who, like, I don't necessarily, like, we're not best buddies at all moments, but, like, do we do well together on screen? And there's some people that, like, we're best buddies, and then on screen it's like...
Blake, known for her commanding presence and sharp delivery, reportedly clashed with Anna, whose strength lies in her laid-back, sarcastic charm. It was like oil and water. No matter how much you shake, they just would mix. Insiders claim Blake's tendency to take control didn't sit well with Anna's more easygoing, collaborative style. The result? A vibe so tense, you could practically slice it with a cocktail knife.
Chuck has a matching pet monkey with coordinating outfits, and I was like, I would love to be part of the show, but I can't act with a monkey. And then I got a few of them.
Then there were the interviews. Blake, ever the polished professional, seemed to dominate every conversation. Anna Kendrick, noticeably less amused, would occasionally chime in with a sarcastic quip, but the tension between them was hard to miss. Fans picked up on the awkward energy, likening it to a group project where one person insists on doing all the talking while the other just wants to get it over with.
Like anyone else who would be going through a situation where you're accused of something that you did not do, and are suffering in a public way, I think it's distressful, to say the least.
The alleged feud didn't stop at uncomfortable interviews. Reports suggest that the tension bled into the film's promotional tour, overshadowing what should have been a celebration of their work. Instead of focusing on A Simple Favor's twists and turns, headlines became consumed with speculation about what was really going on behind the scenes. Because, let's be real, Hollywood loves turning movie stars into the main plot.
She wants me to compliment her, and she's like, I'm not below compliments. I'm like, it's clear that you're not, because she's always soliciting.
Oh, because you were just telling me about like weird expressions that she gets wrong, wouldn't it be I'm not above compliments?
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Oh, she gets it all wrong. I never even thought about it. She says that, yes, she's not above compliments.
To be fair, neither Blake nor Anna has publicly addressed the rumors in any meaningful way. But sometimes, actions speak louder than words. The lack of joint appearances after the press tour only fanned the flames. Whether it was just a case of clashing personalities or something deeper, one thing is certain. The drama off-screen may have been juicier than anything on it.
But Blake Lively, it appears to me, completely lied about that critical scene in which she involved Taylor Swift and Ryan Reynolds, her dragon, she's Khaleesi, because she really wanted her vision to be included in this.
Now, let's shift to Ryan Reynolds, Blake's partner in Hollywood power coupledom and, apparently, her partner in controversy. On the surface, these two seem like the ultimate dream team, effortlessly charming, ridiculously attractive, and always serving perfectly timed Instagram banter. But peel back the layers of their curated public image, and things start to get a lot more complicated.
I did a film with an absolute idiot of a co-star, and this human being was being so insecure and angry because this person couldn't get the scenes.
Ryan Reynolds has a track record of rubbing some people the wrong way in Hollywood, and now it seems some of that backlash is catching up to Blake, too. As whispers grow louder and reputations shift, their once bulletproof image is starting to crack.
So no one had my back. And I remember the next day I walked on and I said, "You get off my set." It's the first time I've ever spoken. I remember being so scared. And I looked at this person and I said, "You can F off. I'm going to work towards a tennis ball. I never want to see you again."
Let's talk about Ryan Reynolds, because it's not just Blake's reputation taking a hit. Ryan's history of on-set clashes is starting to resurface. Take Deadpool, for example. Sure, it was a massive box office win, but behind the scenes? It was reportedly less of a superhero movie and more of a behind-the-scenes battle royale.
I was so vulnerable and uncomfortable that I got screamed at, and I would cry walking off set. This person would literally look at me in front of the whole crew and say, "You call yourself an actor, this is what I have to work with. What is this?" And I stood there just breaking. This happens. But because this person was number one on a call sheet, there was no safety net for me.
His creative disagreements with director Tim Miller allegedly got so intense that Miller ended up walking away from the sequel. And then there's TJ Miller, who publicly accused Ryan of being a diva and creating a tense, uncomfortable work environment. Yikes. Not exactly the easygoing guy his fans are used to seeing on screen.
It's hard not to love the movie because you guys are so beautiful to watch that I was just like,
well, hello.
The parallels between Ryan's alleged behavior and the reports about Blake are hard to ignore. Both have been accused of being overly controlling, more focused on preserving their vision than fostering collaboration. It's like the phrase power couple turned into a verb, and not in a good way. Some fans are now wondering whether their shared approach to fame and career is more about control than partnership.
Ryan, again, as I said, it seems very obvious to me that Ryan is the hand behind everything that is happening here, Justin Baldoni. He is playing a fake alpha when in fact he is a true beta.
Then there's their polished public image. Blake and Ryan have become social media darlings, known for their witty banter and seemingly perfect relationship. But as more stories of behind-the-scenes toxicity surface, that curated image has started to crack. Fans are beginning to ask, is their relationship as idyllic as it looks, or is it just another Hollywood mirage? Their silence on the controversies hasn't helped. Some accuse them of hiding behind charm and humor to avoid accountability. Even their fan base seems divided. Some still fiercely defend them, while others say the pattern of red flags is too big to ignore. And as both stars began to lose followers online, one thing became clear: public opinion is shifting.
OMG, you're not going to believe me, except yes, you will. So on the show today, for those of you guys that watched, I had said that looking at the SNL situation, it was my professional opinion that what we were watching was something that was concocted entirely by Ryan Reynolds, because
at the end of the day, the story of Blake and Ryan is a cautionary tale. Even the most picture-perfect couples aren't immune to scrutiny. Behind the magazine covers and viral tweets lies a much messier reality, one that's becoming harder and harder to deny. As the spotlight drifts from their charm to their controversies, one question remains: is this the beginning of the end for Hollywood's golden couple? Only time will tell.
She sees herself as Khaleesi from Game of Thrones, mother of dragons.
Forget Game of Thrones. This Hollywood drama has its own mother of manipulation. We're talking about Blake Lively. Allegedly, she's been pulling strings behind the scenes, and not everyone is thrilled. One recurring story? Her involvement in The Husband's Secret, a highly anticipated movie adaptation of a best-selling novel. What was supposed to be a major cinematic event turned messy real fast.
You know, for the first time at the premiere, you find out that Blake Lively tells people that all of a sudden he wrote a scene in the movie.
According to reports, indie screenwriters were either pushed out or had their scripts heavily altered, often without proper credit. And while it's not uncommon for stars to give feedback on scripts, sources claim Blake may have had a hand in those controversial changes. When creatives start feeling erased, that collaborative energy turns toxic quickly.
Or is she just extremely high maintenance and someone who plays the victim when she doesn't get her way?
Unfortunately, this wouldn't be the first time Blake's been accused of sidelining smaller voices. Fashion designers have previously alleged that she reached out under fake names to source ideas, only to ghost them or claim their designs as her own. Whether in film or fashion, the pattern is starting to look all too familiar. Smaller creators get drowned out.
Like it's Taylor Swift. He feels there's an implicit threat here. Like, this is a dragon that can kill you. So be very careful. Here's my pet dragon.
Then there are whispers that Blake uses her Hollywood connections to fast-track her projects. Some call it savvy. Others say it's unfair. Either way, these behind-the-scenes stories are painting a picture of Blake that's less team player and more power player.
They are being so wildly manipulative and dishonest as they have been since the beginning of this entire process. They are literally mining clips on the internet, taking them out of context so that they can produce a narrative that reads like a script to us.
And in the age of social media, accountability comes fast. Blake Lively is feeling the heat. Reports say she and Ryan Reynolds have been steadily losing followers as backlash grows. Hashtags like #BlakeExposed are trending, with fans accusing her of everything from stealing fashion designs to silencing indie writers. Her Instagram comments have shifted from admiration to interrogation, with people asking, "Why aren't you addressing the allegations?" Stay tuned, because this Hollywood fairy tale might just be turning into a cautionary tale.